I'm Uri Man. On the next podcast, we're going to be joined by Jeff Sheehan, an executive with Starwood, to learn all about new amenities, how they're developed at master plan communities, and how they affect home sales. Join us on the Uri Man Show. Welcome to the Uri Man Show. I have the pleasure to sit down today with Jeff Sheehan. He's an executive with Starwood. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Uri.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's exciting. Talk a little bit about what you do. You are developer of the largest amenities in Texas, building crystal lagoons. You're the person that actually makes it happen. What kind of projects are you developing right now?
Correct. I'm the Amenity Development Director for Tejas, who was just acquired by Starwood. And we are currently very busy. We have 2 rec centers that are under construction that we're trying to get open by Memorial Day, or we call it the Retreat at Sunterra. It's a lazy river clubhouse, workout facility, dog park, sports courts. It's about a $12 million project.
That's the number 1 fastest selling community in Texas, isn't
Number
it?
1 in Texas, number 3 in the country.
Wow.
It's really doing well. We are breaking ground next week on our Crystal Lagoon at Sunterra. We call it Soul Club. It'll be a 2.7 acre lagoon with a 10,000 square foot clubhouse, a lot of amenities around it and landscaping. We have a park and ball fields as well, and that's about a $30 million project.
Well, this sounds like overnight the residents of Sunterra are going to have incredible amenities.
The amenities are very important.
Right.
Our target market for home sales is first-time home buyer, first-time move-up. But for years, Tejas has always wanted to have exceed the expectation for amenities, and we're leading edge. We were the first to do the Crystal Lagoons in the Houston market. We did lazy rivers when nobody did lazy rivers. We did golf courses, so we want to exceed the expectation of the resident and really give them 5-star amenities in a starter home community, and it's gone very well.
So there's a lot of expectation. If you're buying a home, you buy a home in these communities because of the incredible amenities that you are developing, the lazy rivers, the crystal lagoons, these beautiful parks. How important is it in the buying decision, do you think, that these amenities are coming?
I think it's a big differentiator. Mm-hmm. I mean, you get mom, dad, and the kids in the car, and you're going to go. You're destined to buy a new home, and you look at it. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of development in Houston, a lot of different developments, and when you pull up to one of our developments and you see these amazing amenities, it's awful hard. When mom and the kids see crystal clear blue water and sandy beaches, and we're bringing the Caribbean to you in Humble, Texas, or Katy, Texas, and in the Houston market. It's hard to go to the development down the street that has nice amenities as well, but they're usually the standard pool and the walking trails and the parks. But everybody has that. We differentiate with state-of-the-art 5-star amenities.
Yeah, and I know that when you get hundreds of buyers in these communities, sometimes they see what's on the brochure, and they might have some anxiety because it's not built yet. Right. Everything's on a schedule. Right. And of course, you publish that schedule, but it doesn't matter how much you communicate about when these amenities are going to be built. There's always going to be people that are frustrated. But in the end, the home values are really supported by these amenities, which get built. So
they are, and people tend to be impatient. We all want things now, and it's not uncommon in a master plan community that some of the major amenities are going in the final phases of the community. You need rooftops. You need residents to support those amenities. Of course, the HOA fees will contribute to the operations of those amenities, and they take time. I mean, they're 365 at best build, but once they see construction start, things start to calm down, and that's where we are at Sunterra. We're doing very well with home sales out there, with anticipation of the lagoon coming, and it's going well, and we're under construction, and that's got everybody very, very excited.
And let's talk a little bit about that lagoon, because this is the number 1 fastest selling community in Texas by far. How many homes were sold last year? Do you know?
Oh, golly, close to 1,000 maybe?
Close to 1,000.
We sold 50 last week. I mean, we're clipping along 35, 45, 50 a week.
Right. And what Starwood decided with that lagoon, which is unique, is to have the lagoon only open to the residents of the community, right? So it's a private crystal lagoon.
Correct.
And that brings with it a certain level of prestige. You think that's one of the reasons people are buying homes there?
I think so. I mean, people they think it's their lagoon, right?
Right.
And it is. Ultimately, we turn them over to the HOA once we
Yeah.
get them stable and get them up and operational. We've tried to have some public access at some other lagoons, and it's gone mixed review. I mean, the residents aren't really thrilled about sharing their amenity, but these are large amenities that can support multiple activities around the lagoon, and you really wouldn't know if you're a resident or not. But this is an exclusive amenity just for the residents, so residents and their guests.
Right.
So
And I heard that Starwood listened to the residents.
Yes.
That's what they asked for there specifically before the lagoon was built, and they made that decision. So I'm sure it's going to be very welcomed when it's going to be complete, do you think, next year?
We're shooting for about this time next year, 365 days, substantial completion, and we hope to have it open and operational, by March of next year.
Well, it's pretty exciting. What's it like to work for Barry Sternlick and Mike Moser, who control the company?
It's great. I mean, they're pretty hands off. They have an operations team. They have some boots on the ground here in Houston as well. It's been a little bit of a transition. When it was just Lan Tejas, Al Brindy, and Courtney Grover, they had visions, and they would state their vision and kind of get out of the way and let you do your thing, and I'll see you at grand opening. These guys are a little more hands-on. That's fine. It's their prerogative. They own the company. So I do have a lot more support. I have a lot more.
Do they come on site? Do you see them on site?
Periodically, they do have a local presence here that offices with us, and so we do have Starwood representation. But they've been great. They're well funded. They have a great vision. They want to do things first class, and we're putting out some very, very nice developments.
Yeah, they're notorious for really doing a great job, 5 stars, and I think it's been a welcome change for people who have been learning a new way with Starwood leadership.
It has. Again, there's just more layers of management, which is fine. I mean, that's how you run businesses, right? I mean, it's institutional money, so there's a lot of reporting, there's a lot of budgeting, there's a lot of forecasting, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you're not ad-libbing as much as we used to.
Right.
We have a plan, and we have a budget, and we stick to it, and we have schedules, and it's just a little more structured.
Okay, well that's
we get it done though, and we got it done before too. We have some amazing developments, and
Right.
so there's 2 ways to skin a cat, and we're getting it done.
Right, absolutely, and it's clearly happening because it's the #1 fastest selling community in Texas. So let's talk a little bit about Jeff Sheehan, because you're building lazy rivers, you're building crystal lagoons, but where did Jeff actually get started? I read that you used to be a professional golfer.
Well, I was a golf professional. There's a difference.
Okay, right.
Professional golfers, the Tiger Woods, and
Right.
the guys you see on TV playing for millions of dollars. I early on had a desire to be in the golf business, so I pursued my PGA membership and became a golf professional, and that's.
So you're a member of the PGA?
I am a member of PGA. I'm a life member of the PGA. I'm retired now.
Okay.
But my first career.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
too,
my first career was in the golf business. I did it for 35 years, and I was a head golf professional, director of golf, general manager, and I was in my mid-30s and said, there's got to be more to it than this. And so I took a leap of faith, and about 35, 36, had a midlife crisis, and partnered up with my business partner, and we decided to build our own golf course.
Wow, okay.
And so we went.
So you became an entrepreneur.
Became an entrepreneur, so we learned how to raise money, and I told him when I quit a very high-profile job. I was in Dallas at the time and had a wife and 2 young kids, and I said, I've got enough money to last about 8-10 months. And, no problem. We'll get this deal put together, and we'll be off to the races. Well, 3.5 years later, we finally got it funded.
Okay.
And we got it under construction. We built a golf course up in Maryland, just outside of Annapolis, Maryland, called Renditions. It's a replica golf course.
What does that mean, a replica golf course?
We copy holes from all 4 of the major championships.
Okay.
The concept had been done before, but we kind of refined it and had a theme to it where we themed everything after the 1930s when Bobby Jones won the Grand Slam. So our uniforms were the knickers, and the clubhouse felt like it was built back in the 30s. And we built a really, really fun golf course where people can play replicas of Amen Corner, Sawgrass, and some of the major championship golf courses. That was back in 2000, and it just celebrated its 22nd year. this year will be his 22nd year of operations.
And is that how you met the founder of Lantejas, Al Brendy?
I did. Al Brendy and Courtney Grover, who owned Lantejas, had a development in Houston called Stonegate, where they had a 27-hole golf course that they had given. They donated the land to a golf course developer. They didn't want to be in the golf course business for a lot of different reasons, but they wanted the amenity of a golf course. So they donated the land, and the golf course developer had some financial difficulties towards the end and couldn't finish the project. So that's when I met Al Brendy. He came up to Renditions, and we met, and he says, you guys can finish my project for me down in Houston, build a clubhouse for us. But at that time, I was up in Maryland running my golf course. And he says, well, Jeff has to come down here and run the golf course in Stonegate. So we did. We came down in 2005, ramped it up, went from a 10,000 round a year golf course to a 50,000 round a year golf course, and ramped it up, and we sold it, or Al sold it. And I kind of had lost touch with that group for 4 or 5 years, and then I call it a God wink is how I was reintroduced to Al Brendy and his team to become his amenity development director.
Wow. Okay.
So, if you want to go down that path, and how I got into the development business was, golf had slowed down. We overbuilt golf, certainly in the Houston area, and you could buy golf courses cheaper than you can build them. So I didn't really want to be in the operations side of it so much. I wanted to be more on the development side. I really enjoyed taking a raw piece of land and turning it into a golf course or a clubhouse in an operation. So, we did that for Al at Stonegate, and then they sold it, and 4 or 5 years went by, and I said, well, I need to start networking. I need to get out there and see what else is available, because golf's slowing down.
Yeah.
So I got on my cell phone, and it's in alphabetical order, and the first name that popped up was Al Brendy.
Wow.
I said, I hadn't talked to Al in 4 or 5 years, so I hit send, and he says, Jeff Sheehan, I haven't talked to you, yada, yada, yada. He says, I need to meet with you. So long story short, we met at True Lux at 5 o'clock on a Monday. I'll never forget. I said, what does he want with me? He says, my amenity director is retiring, and I want you to come to work for Lantejas and build our amenities for us. Well, it was right down my alley. I mean, it's clubhouses, and it's
everything you know how to do.
Pools, and it's amazing, and it's great. It's been great. I just started my 10th year, and we've had a lot of fun. We've had some great projects. We've done Lazy Rivers. We've done the course of Crystal Lagoons. We were the first ones to open a Crystal Lagoon in the United States. We did the one in Humble, and then a 2-acre lagoon, and we did one down in Lagomar, a 12-acre lagoon. So it's been a fun run, and that's kind of Reader's Digest version of how I got here. So,
and what's next for Jeff? Like, what are the new projects that you're working on besides Sunterra? Where are other projects where you're building amenities?
We have another project down in Iowa Colony. It's called Sierra Vista. Mm-hmm. We're under construction with a heated lazy river and a clubhouse.
So it'll be the first ever heated lazy river.
Heated lazy river. And we also are targeted to open that Memorial Day of this year. So we have 2 that are coming to the finish line, and then we got 4 more getting ready to start. Again, we talked about the lagoon at Sunterra and its clubhouse. It's called Soul Club. We've got Emberley, which is a project down in south of town, and it'll have a clubhouse with a pool and lazy river and sports courts, and so that's getting ready to start this quarter as well.
So there's millions of dollars in amenities, really tens of millions of dollars in amenities.
Yeah, these are not for the faint of heart. These are $10 to $12 million without the lagoons. Now you put a lagoon in there, you're going to throw another 20 plus million at it. So they're well done. They're 5-star. They're operated well, and it's again a differentiator for these communities. And some of these communities we're starting to get a little bit far out from Houston. Now the Grand Parkway in Houston's our third outer belt, and that's opened it up. But we need something to draw people, so we're really focusing on differentiating our product with our amenities.
Okay, well, Jeff, thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing all your wisdom about all these new projects. It's a lot, very exciting, and looking forward to seeing what comes next and all the new ideas that you have for all these incredible amenities.
they're fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy seeing them go from concept, where it's just on paper, to a raw piece of land, and then you watch a war zone as they're constructed, and then finally you get to the end and you open them up and you see the joy that these people have. And over the years, you go back and look and you see how they're enjoying these amenities, how you had planned them. It's very rewarding.
Rewarding because all these people are smiling because of you.
Well,
so,
not
yeah.
just
I mean,
me.
it's a team effort, of course, but
is.
you're overseeing everything. So congratulations on all these amenities. Amazing.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and I appreciate you having me on the show. And this has been great. Thanks, Eric.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Big news! Lagoon Fest Texas is coming to Houston again this summer. Lagoon Fest Texas is the largest summer beach event in the Houston area and will bring hundreds of thousands of happy families to Lago Mar. Experience the white sand beaches and crystal clear water that surround the 12-acre Crystal Lagoon. Last year's Lagoon Fest Texas was a huge success that drew over 150,000 visitors from all over the U.S. And this year's summer event will be even bigger and better with bigger beaches, more bars, more concerts, and more fun. All eyes will be on Lagoon Fest Texas this summer, and sponsorships are available now. You have a special opportunity to put your company's name and logo in front of hundreds of thousands of happy beachgoers. Naming rights, strategic logo placement in and around the venue, along with exclusive marketing access to a captive audience, will be included in your sponsorship. This is a great opportunity to be a part of Houston's largest summer event. Please visit lagoonfesttexas.com to learn more about this incredible event.